Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Programming Knowledge, and this is the third video of a 5-part video series on how to create user registration form using PHP. So in the previous tutorial, we have styled our user registration form. So as you can see, we have improved the looks of our form, and we also modified our PHP code to capture the values if the user submitted the form. So in this lecture, we're going to implement the database connection, and we will create a new database that will hold all the information of the user accounts. So let's go ahead and open up our browser. Let's try to use the localhost phpMyAdmin. Okay, click on the new link, and for the database name, type in user accounts and click on create. Let's create a new table with the name users, and for the number of columns we have, I think, 6. One column for the ID, which is auto increment, the first name, the last name, the email, the phone number, and the last is the password. So 6, and click on go. So for this one, the first column is ID, and type in with auto increment option should be enabled. The second one is first name with a type of varchar, and the length, let's say 100, and the next one is last name, type varchar and 100, and I think it's email, and let's set it also to varchar, and the next one is the phone number, should be varchar also, with the length of 50, and the password varchar, I think 32 will be enough, but let's just put it to 50 or set it to 50 and click on save. So now we have our database, which is the user accounts, and with the table users with 6 fields, which is ID, first name, last name, email, phone number, and password. I think it's high time for us to define or create our config.php. So let's open up our config.php file and connect our database to our PHP code. So here inside our config.php file, we need to open our PHP tag and define 3 variables, which is for our DB user, which is root, and DB password or DB pass. In my case, it's empty, and DB name equals, of course, user accounts. Okay, so based on these variables, we need to define a new object of the PDO class, open close parenthesis. So inside here we need to type in MySQL and colon, and then host equals localhost and semicolon. After that, DB name equals, we need to append the DB name variable that we have defined above, and append another string, which is for the character set of our database, which is UTF-8. And after that, we need to pass in the DB user variable, and also the db password variable, or the db pass variable. And let us set an attribute to this db object below. So db set attribute and open close parentheses, and pdo attr error mode, or error mode, and pdo error mode should be exception. So this will give us more information if we encounter problems when we're using the db object later on. So with that, we're now ready to use this db object into our registration.php. So open up the registration.php file, and let's include the config.php into this file. So require once the config.php. Okay, and make sure that you save the config.php file. So inside this if statement, we can now use the db object that we defined in config.php. So all we have to do now is type in the SQL. And of course, our first SQL will be insert into users, and we just need to list the fields, which are first name, last name, the email, the phone number, and of course the password, with values open close and question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, 1 2 3 4, I think it's 5, right? 5. And statement for our insert, stmt insert equals the db object that we have defined in config.php, and prepare, of course, supply the SQL statement. And let's just delete this line. So after this stmt insert, let's define result and stmt insert and type in execute. And of course, we need to supply the array of the fields or the values coming from the form, which is the first name, last name, email, and phone number, and password. So if result is true, open close curly braces, echo successfully saved. Okay, else echo there were errors while saving the data. Save your file and open up the browser, refresh the page, and let's try to input some names here. Example, Jane, the last name Doe, and email address will be janedoe@gmail.com. Phone number plus 6239856, just random numbers. Okay, and password Jane Doe, and click on the sign up button. Cool. Now it says successfully saved, but let's check our database or the phpMyAdmin to see if the data has gone through. Okay, so browse let's just click on this browse, and you can see we now have the first record, which is the Jane, the first name Jane, last name Doe, email address janedoe@gmail.com, phone number, and of course the password, which is Jane Doe. Okay, so I think our insert method or insert logic is good, but there's a lot of room for improvement. So for example, we want the form not to reload every time we submit the information, and also the feedback, if successful or not, is, I think it's not that good or not that good looking. So we will implement the sweet alert library to replace this boring feedback that we have here. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and in the next video we'll work on jQuery and sweet alerts. Thanks.